Hello friends, welcome back to the Dork side. Here we are at the Touratech Rally 2024. Kove has generously offered to let me borrow one of the most requested bikes on the channel, the Kove 450. So here we are, Kove 450. This is the tall seat version. It actually has bib mooses. I've never ridden on mooses before, but this is plated, so unlike last year when I could just dink around here at the compound, I can take it on the road, so we can go out and find some decent off-road riding, which is what we're doing right now. Okay, so road impressions. Feels like a dual sport, obviously. It's very tall and very skinny feeling. It's very light. It reminds me of like the KTM 500 EXCF quite a bit, actually. The closest comparator, which makes sense. You're not getting a lot of wind protection from this fairing, but you know, that's to be expected. It's keeping it off my chest, but it's definitely hitting me in the head. The most common question I get, or at least the people that watch my content, their interest in this bike is as a sort of BDR killer, right? A long range, very capable bike with a big fuel tank. And you know, I know it's going to be stellar on the off-road sections, but the question is really, how will it do on the road sections if that's what you want to use it for? Now that the plated ones are finally coming to the US this September. This one's plated because you can plate off-road bikes in Washington. In Oregon, at least, you can't plate them yet, but that's coming. Oh, the seat is very hard, obviously. Now, this is a bike that, when I rode it before, I just didn't find it that comfortable. I found it kind of punchy. I'm told it's to be expected because I'm a dual sport adventure bike guy, and this is far more of a dirt bike kind of feeling motorcycle. All right, I'm going to talk more when I get off the road. Road impressions. It's loud. This thing, the exhaust is loud. So when you're revving it out in 6th gear, which it has, it's pretty loud on the bike. You're definitely going to want earplugs, but that's, you should be wearing them anyway. In terms of road comfort, it's no more or less comfortable than my 450L. So it's not a bike that you're like, I'm cruising in comfort, but it's definitely tolerable on the road. 6th is geared surprisingly high, so you have a lot of, it's not super revved out in 6th gear, which is nice when you're going highway speeds. Not something I would have expected. It's one of those where a road is a means to an end. It's definitely not like, oh, I'm going to go on a long road ride today. I think I'll jump on my Kove. Oh, suspension is stiff, dude. I took that shot right to my lower back. All right, well, let's try standing. The shift lever is in the weirdest place. I actually like it. It's just really close into the bike. It's taken me a minute to find it. Yeah, it's definitely stiff suspension, which is good. It's a more aggressive suspension, right? Which is what, if you saw Dallas's video about the Kove, he was kind of referencing, Dallas meaning Traction E-Rag, he was kind of referencing me and how I said it was kind of harsh feeling, and it's because I'm used to a plush road-tuned suspension, and this just ain't it. There is very little consideration for the road to this bike. It's not what it's for. It is very harsh, very stiff. You feel every little bump, but the big bumps, ugh. Yeah, it eats up the big bumps. That was a big kind of kicker. You can tell because the rear came off the ground. It doesn't like to putts. I get that sense from it right now. It's like, what if we don't go slow, it says to me. Oh man, this is a very capable bike though. It's fun. Is it confidence inspiring? A little bit confidence inspiring. We're headed up the road to Sugarloaf. I'm not gonna go all the way up to Sugarloaf, but there's some really good technical stuff. God, this thing rips, dude. It rips. There's some good technical loose crap. It's so light. It just feels tiny. I've been riding my e-bike around camp. It feels like that. God, this thing is fun. God, you guys know I love to rip up fast gravel, and this bike eats it up. Eats it up. So you would not know this thing has an 8-gallon tank. It does not feel it at all. But it definitely has an overall feeling of raw and unrefined because it's meant to be ridden aggressively, right? So the suspension's stiff when you go slow. It doesn't love to hang out at low RPMs. This is a frickin' like literal detuned Dakar race bike, and it wants to go fast. So it's not to say it can't go slow, I just haven't tried yet. But I definitely just like trying to get out of the rally going slow there. It was like, why are you doing this to me? But that back end just grips, man. It just stays right there. It's so loud. One of the loudest stock bikes I've been on. Oh, this thing flies, dude. Holy shit. And I'm like, you know, just kind of okay at riding. What could it do with a good rider? I think Paul Neff is actually going to take this out later, so I guess he'll find out. Man, that's pretty cool, dude. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Definitely stiff. Comfort is not a consideration. Comfort third on this one, you know. But it is way faster and more fun and easy to throw around. It's not fighting me. It just goes where I point it. So it's different. And if you're watching my channel, you know, my guess is you've probably ridden some dual sports and adventure bikes. It is a different experience than that. It's definitely more akin to a dirt bike. The closest comparator that I've ridden is probably like the 501 500 EXCF, or maybe the 450L pre-new ECU. What it reminds me of, it wants to run fast and hard. But the suspension feels good, man. I think you could take a lot of stuff very quickly on this. Obviously, there are a lot of questions about longevity and reliability and parts availability. But Kove as a company seems pretty dedicated to making this work. You know, their rally team did a lot better last year, or year before last, than it did last year. Everride certainly loves his, and I take his opinion very seriously. Yeah, it definitely is not a casual cruiser. You kind of got to just dial in and go. Pay attention, focus. Real sandy up here right now. I'm trying to get to this campsite I know so I can shoot you some footage of it before we head up the hill. Oh man, it's really fun. It's really fun. This would be a great bike for shocker rallies. Like, you take it there in a trailer or the back of the truck, and then when you're at the site, you know, it's a short ride to get out to the good riding. A great bike for that, like this rally I'm at right now, the Touratech Rally, or the Death Valley Rally. I'd love to be on this. There was a ton of guys on these out there. Okay, I'm gonna get you a walk around. Whew. I'm tired, dude. This bike is a workout for sure. My ears are tired. It's so loud. You can see it looks like a rally bike because that's what it's built off of. That's what it's based on. Tall, it's a very tall seat. This is the tall seat version. They make a lower seat version. Not unmanageable for me, even with a 30-inch inseam, but you just got to know that you're sliding a cheek off. What makes it easier is it's just not very heavy. So it's easy to, if it starts to lean, you can just catch it. It's not really worrisome. The road gets a little chunkier right here. We're going to go up to the top of this ridge and turn around. Oh, well, to quote Anakin Skywalker, this is where the fun begins. It feels like a toy. It's so light. It's so light. I'm actually comfortably tiptoes actually both sides. It's about the same. It feels about the same as my 450L did. But we're going to shut off the ABS. We can do that, I think. Yeah, go into ABS mode. I'm just going to shut off the rear for now. So close means off. And we're going to putz up this hill on a little bit more technical stuff. It feels so light, dude. It's so skinny and light. That itself is very confidence inspiring. You feel like you can take it anywhere. Yeah, I think I'm going to want third. Let's see. Doesn't want a tractor. So standing position, super comfortable. Obviously, it's very thin, very skinny, easy to grip with your legs. The bars are in a pretty good position for me, just enough to have to bend my knees slightly, which is what you're supposed to do when you ride off-road, guys. I get lazy and don't do that, but... Oh! Yeah, okay. I accidentally left the ground, oops. This one's seen some very good riders, so I know it's been kicked around a little, so I'm not super worried about treating it badly. Because I know who's been riding it, and I know what they do. I'm going to try to go slow and see how does it do kind of slow. It's a great viewpoint right here, by the way. Kind of gorgeous out here near Touratech. Standing position's good. My gut is touching the handlebars, so that means I'm up over the tank like you're supposed to be. I mean, I'm going uphill, so that helps. Pretty controllable for putzing. Let's try first. I know it's going to hate it. Yeah, it's kind of twitchy, so definitely, again, it's a bike that wants to run. So if you're going slow like this, you're going to want to control it with clutch. Yeah, first sucks. That neutral's even worse. Oh, second is good. The people who know how to ride, some of the best riders I know, Ryan and Donnie, love this thing because they can just rip on it, which is crazy because it's like $9,000. Ryan's had his for a year. I don't think he's had any major problems with it yet. That's of course the biggest concern. And no, it's not the hardest off-road ever, but it's nice to even be able to get out on this. Got a bunch of water bars, jumps, a bunch of kind of chunky rock stuff. So I think it's a good test. Whew. It's wearing me out, man. I gotta sit
down.
Tons of power. And the other thing I worry about with this bike in particular is it controllable power, right? Because it's a fire-breathing race bike. Can I control it? So far, yeah. It's pretty fun. I'm gonna take some pictures. It doesn't feel like it's gonna shoot out from underneath me. It's not scary like whiskey throttled it for days kind of thing. Yeah, it's tractable. It's not like just immediately spinning out of control. I wonder if the ABS is off again. No, I didn't turn it all the way off, so it should be good. Hey! That's Nathan. That's definitely Nathan. This is such a cool shelf road. And it just goes up and up and up. Nice, loose, rocky, chunky. This road's been torn up this week. It was way different even on Thursday when I was on it. Oh, this suspension is so good. It's it's stiff, so you feel the bumps, but you don't. The big ones, you just kind of glide right over. Like, this would be a great bike for doubling up whoops and stuff. If that was your kind of speed that you wanted to go. Halfway point, and it looks like there's a big group, which I don't want to get stuck behind, so let's sit here for a second and rest. So my biggest concern about this bike has been all along that it would be too much for a regular rider. Like, it's a bike that's made for the hardcore, the elite, the fastest riders out there. And I think I'm seeing that that's not the case. I can ride it. Many of you could probably ride it. It's not a comfortable bike. It's a stiff, it's a workout. It is function over form in every level. There's not much wind protection. It's not a bike that you look forward to riding on the road, but it's not a bike that you can't take on the road either. One of the things that Dallas said, again from Traction E-Rag, in his review is that a lot of the dirt bike guys feel like it's underpowered. And I don't think that's the case. It's just not immediately super revvy and like popping right into a wheelie. But it does have a very manageable power, but it has plenty of it. And that's why I think it's probably rideable for most people at a slower speed. You're going to find the suspension very harsh if you're not going fast, right? That's just a thing that you're going to have to deal with. But if you're looking for the most capable bike for $9,000, this has got to be it. This has to be it. If you want it, you want the ultimate BDR slayer where you want the most capability off-road combined with fuel capacity, and riding there is a means to an end, and it's going to be uncomfortable and suck. This is a good bike when the street legal ones come out. Again, I don't know about reliability, I don't know about parts availability, I don't know about serviceability, but I do know that riding it right now, it seems very fun and capable, and it's so light that I wouldn't hesitate to take it pretty much anywhere. I would need to get some more kind of technical single track riding in on it to really get a feel for how kind of maneuvering slowly with the clutch control kind of situation is, but it was fine here in second gear doing that. So I'm gonna go slowly down the hill. I'm gonna have to because I'm gonna be stuck behind this group, but it'll be a good opportunity to test kind of how it goes when maybe a newer rider is kind of moving slowly on it. I know I'm gonna catch these guys, but let's putz down and see how we feel in the dust. Putz means to go slowly and just pick your lines as if you were a new rider afraid of going downhill. Yeah, rear ABS is still off. That's good. How aggressive is the front? Not very. That was pretty good, actually. So I don't think I'd turn it off. I've got a lot of braking power up front, even on this loose stuff. That's nice. Yeah, it's not super comfortable to ride slow, man. Every bolt. You want to ride slow sitting down, start with something a little smoother, a little plusher, because every bump is directly into your lower back. It's a fun bike. I would definitely own one. Just know that it's gonna beat you up when you get out there. It's a good bike to kind of get a workout on. I think I can give you my sort of overall impressions on this one. It's not a comfortable bike. It's a capable bike. That's what it's supposed to be. But it is very capable, at least in the off-road riding I've done, and I've seen plenty of people like Ryan. I've seen Ryan take his out to the motocross track and like jump over tabletops and stuff. So it is a bike that is going to be more capable than the vast majority of people who buy it. But the question then is it too capable? Is it too difficult to ride for those same people? And I'm of the opinion that it isn't. It's pretty tall, so you got to be okay with that. Although there is a low seat height version, but it's not crazy torquey fast, loop out all the time. But it does like to go fast. So, and I'm no expert on these things, but based on my experience, I've ridden a lot of dual sports and adventure bikes, and so that's sort of what I'm comparing it to, and I'm assuming that if you're here, that's kind of also the comparison that you're interested in. But uncomfortable on the road, very capable off the road, Not comfortable probably ever. The seat is not the worst off-road bike seat I've ever been on, but it's not great. So if you own a Kove, I'm really interested in your impressions and opinions of it as a dual sport ADV bike, moto camping capable, super capable platform for getting out and doing like moto camping multi-day adventures, and also just as a fun, like, what is it like day-to-day use practicality. I'd love to hear that in the comments. And if you're interested in more dual sport and adventure type test rides, moto camping, and other trips and all kinds of shenanigans, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I'm the dork on the road, and I want to be your internet riding buddy, and I'm better than your regular riding buddies because I come with a mute button. Also, if you haven't yet, maybe hit the like button. That really makes the videos more visible, helps the channel grow, and I appreciate every time you do that. Just know that I know you did it, and I sit there and I think to myself, I appreciate user 273651. That's you. Your name should have played right there. If it didn't, there's something wrong with YouTube, but trust me, it worked. So just hit that like button. So for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Kove and Donnie at School of Moto for this opportunity. And please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!
Just traction for days, and I can put all of it, all the power seems to go directly into the ground. Oh, it's so fun. Oh my god. This bike is fast, dude. It is just, it's just fast. It just wants to rip. It loves to rip. I just can't believe the cornering. It's got to be the mooses, right? The bikes can't be that different. It's got to be the mooses giving me this much traction. Gotta be. Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, I'm barely even, like, I'm purposefully two-tire sliding, and I'm barely even doing that. Look, there he is. Quit asking me where he is. He's right there. It's him again, corner manning it.